The wait is finally over for fans of 1,000-Pound Sisters as Season 8 Supersized returns with an emotional and intense premiere titled Crying Tears of Blood, set to air on March 10th, 2026. This new season promises to dive deeper than ever before into the lives of Amy and Tammy, bringing viewers face-to-face with raw struggles, unexpected challenges, and moments that will leave audiences completely speechless. The episode opens with a quiet but heavy atmosphere. The camera slowly pans across familiar surroundings, but something feels different this time. There is tension in the air, an unspoken weight that immediately signals that this season will not be like any other. Amy is seen sitting alone, her expression distant, as if she is carrying something she hasn't yet found the strength to share. Her voice trembles slightly as she begins to speak, hinting at emotional pain that has been building for months. Tammy, on the other hand, appears stronger physically compared to previous seasons, but emotionally, cracks are beginning to show. While she has made significant progress in her weight loss journey, the pressure of maintaining that progress and the fear of slipping back seems to be taking a toll. In a deeply personal moment, Tammy admits that even though her body has changed, her mind is still fighting old battles. She confesses that the expectations from family, fans, and even herself feel overwhelming at times. As the episode unfolds, the sisters come together for a conversation that quickly turns emotional. What starts as a simple discussion about daily life escalates into something much deeper. Amy opens up about feeling isolated and misunderstood, revealing that the changes in her life have not brought the happiness she once imagined. Her words are heavy, filled with frustration and sadness, as she struggles to explain how everything feels like it's falling apart, despite her efforts to hold it together. Tammy listens closely, but it's clear she is also dealing with her own inner turmoil. She tries to offer support, but her responses carry a sense of vulnerability that shows she is not as strong as she appears. The bond between the sisters is still there, but it is being tested in ways viewers have never seen before. The emotional turning point of this first part comes when Amy breaks down completely. Tears stream down her face as she describes a moment that changed everything for her. A moment so painful that she refers to it as crying tears of blood. The phrase isn't just dramatic. It reflects the depth of her emotional suffering. It becomes clear that something significant has happened behind the scenes, something that has shaken her to the core. The camera doesn't cut away. Instead, it stays focused, capturing every second of this raw, unfiltered emotion. Tammy, visibly shaken, reaches out to comfort Amy, but even she seems unsure of what to say. The silence between them speaks louder than words, emphasizing just how serious the situation has become. As the scene fades, viewers are left with more questions than answers. What exactly caused Amy's breakdown? How will this affect their relationship moving forward? And can the sisters find a way to support each other through what appears to be one of the darkest periods of their lives? The first part of this supersized episode sets the stage for a season filled with emotional intensity, personal revelations, and life-changing moments. It's clear that this journey is no longer just about weight loss. It's about survival, healing, and confronting truths that can no longer be ignored. The episode resumes in the aftermath of Amy's emotional breakdown, and the atmosphere remains tense and fragile. The silence from the previous moment lingers, but it doesn't last long. Tammy, still sitting beside her sister, finally begins to speak, her voice softer than usual, almost Osterose House, as if she's afraid that saying the wrong thing might make everything worse. She admits that seeing Amy like this scares her, not just because of the pain she's witnessing, but because it reminds her of her own lowest moments. Amy wipes her tears, but her emotions are far from settled. She begins to explain more about what has been weighing on her, revealing that the pressure of maintaining her life, her responsibilities, and her expectations has become overwhelming. She talks about feeling like she's constantly being judged by people around her, by the public, and even by herself. Every decision feels heavier, every mistake feels amplified, and it's starting to break her down piece by piece. Tammy listens carefully, and for the first time in a long while, she doesn't interrupt or deflect. Instead, she opens up in return. She confesses that while everyone sees her physical transformation as a success story, they don't see the mental struggles that come with it. She admits that she still battles insecurities every single day, constantly fearing that she could lose everything she's worked so hard to achieve. The fear of failure looms over her, making it difficult to fully celebrate how far she's come. The conversation shifts into something deeper, something more honest than anything the sisters have shared before. They begin to confront the reality that their journey has never just been about weight. It's about trauma, habits, emotional wounds, and the patterns they've carried for years. For a moment, the walls between them come down completely, and they speak to each other not just as sisters, but as two people trying to survive their own battles. But the calm doesn't last. A sudden disagreement begins to build when Tammy gently suggests that Amy might need to seek more support, possibly even professional help. While her intention is caring, Amy doesn't take it that way. Her expression changes instantly, her frustration rising again. She feels misunderstood, as if Tammy is implying that she's not strong enough to handle things on her own. The tension escalates quickly. Amy raises her voice, insisting that she has been doing everything she can, that she's been holding everything together for so long without anyone truly seeing how hard it's been. Tammy, caught off guard, tries to clarify her point, but her words only seem to make things worse. What started as concern now feels like criticism, and the fragile connection they had just rebuilt begins to crack again. The argument becomes one of the most intense moments of the episode so far. Both sisters are emotional, both are vulnerable, and neither of them is fully able to step back. Amy accuses Tammy of not understanding her struggles, while Tammy fires back, saying that she understands more than Amy realizes. Years of shared history, pain, and unresolved feelings start to surface all at once. Then, just as quickly as it escalates, the argument reaches a breaking point. Amy falls silent again, but this time it's different. Instead of anger, there's exhaustion. She looks drained, emotionally and physically, as if she has nothing left to give. Tammy notices the shift immediately. Her own frustration fades, replaced by concern once again. She realizes that pushing any further could do more harm than good. In a quieter, more careful tone, Tammy apologizes. She admits that she may not have said things the right way, but her intentions were never to hurt Amy. She explains that she's scared of losing her sister, scared of seeing her fall into a place that's hard to come back from. Her words are raw, stripped of defensiveness, and filled with genuine fear. Amy listens, her eyes still heavy with emotion. She doesn't respond right away, but the tension begins to soften. There's still pain, still misunderstanding, but there's also something else. An unspoken acknowledgement that they both need each other, even when things fall apart. As the scene progresses, the sisters sit in silence once more, but this time it feels different. It's not empty. It's reflective. Both of them are processing everything that has been said, everything that has been revealed. The weight of their conversation hangs in the air, but so does the possibility of healing. The second part of the episode dives deeper into the emotional core of their relationship, showing that while love exists between them, it is constantly being tested by pain, fear, and the difficulty of change. It becomes clear that moving forward will not be easy, and that the journey ahead may be even more challenging than anything they've faced before. The final part of the episode begins with a sense of quiet reflection. The emotional storm between Amy and Tammy has passed, but its impact is still deeply felt. The camera captures small, intimate moments. Amy staring out the window, lost in thought, while Tammy sits nearby, unusually silent. There's no dramatic music, no sudden movement, just the weight of everything that has been said lingering in the room. As time passes, Amy finally breaks the silence. Her voice is softer now, more controlled but still filled with emotion. She admits that she's tired of pretending everything is okay, tired of carrying so much on her own. For the first time in the episode, she acknowledges that maybe she does need help. It's not a full acceptance, but it's a step forward, and it's enough to shift the energy between them. Tammy looks at her sister with a mixture of relief and concern. She doesn't push, doesn't try to fix everything. Instead, she simply nods, letting Amy speak at her own pace. It's a subtle but powerful change from earlier, proof that both of them are learning, even in the middle of their struggles. The conversation turns toward the future. Amy expresses her fear of what lies ahead, admitting that she doesn't know how to rebuild herself after everything she's been through. Tammy responds with honesty, saying that she doesn't have all the answers either. She reminds Amy that her own journey hasn't been perfect. that every step forward came with setbacks, doubts, and moments where she almost gave up. This shared vulnerability becomes a turning point. For the first time in the episode, there's a sense that they are not fighting against each other, but standing side by side. The bond between them, though strained, begins to feel stronger again, not because their problems are solved, but because they are finally facing them together. But just as things begin to settle, the episode delivers one final emotional moment. Amy reveals a deeply personal truth, something she has been holding back the entire time. She explains that the crying tears of blood wasn't just a metaphor for emotional pain, but a reflection of how intense her experience has been. She describes a moment of complete breakdown, where everything around her felt like it was collapsing, and she genuinely didn't know how to keep going. Her voice shakes as she speaks, and it becomes clear that this is the most vulnerable she has ever allowed herself to be on camera. Tammy is visibly shaken. She reaches for Amy's hand, holding it tightly, as if trying to ground her in that moment. There are no arguments now, no misunderstandings, just pure, shared emotion. Tammy reassures her that she's not alone, that no matter how dark things get, they will find a way through it together. The final scenes shift slightly, showing glimpses of what's to come this season. Short clips tease upcoming challenges, doctor visits, difficult conversations with family members, moments of doubt, and unexpected setbacks. But there are also glimpses of hope. Small victories, supportive moments, and signs that change, while difficult, is still possible. The episode closes with Amy and Tammy sitting side by side, not saying much but no longer distant. The silence between them now feels different. It's not filled with tension, but with understanding. They face something painful, something raw, and while it hasn't fixed everything, it has brought them closer in a way that feels real. As the screen fades to black, one thing becomes clear. This season is not just about transformation on the outside, but about healing on the inside. The journey ahead will be messy, emotional, and unpredictable. But for the first time, it feels like they might be ready to face it together.